Tottenham have got a little bit of a problem. It has been a year since Harry Kane left for Bayern Munich and they still haven't brought in a proper replacement for him. Yes, Richarlison has done an okay job for Spurs over the last season or so, but is he the quality player that a club like Spurs need to be able to challenge for the top four and more importantly for trophies under Ange Postecoglou? And what's more is the Brazilian has been linked with a move away from the club this summer. Saudi Arabia are said to be interested in his services and they could pay up to £60 million for him. That is a deal that Tottenham probably have to take. The good news is that the club have been linked with a lot of strikers over the course of the summer. The bad news is they haven't picked one up yet. So who would be the right man to replace Harry Kane and finally get Spurs in the right direction when it comes to scoring goals and moving up the table? Well, there have been loads of names linked to the club and I'm going to go through each one of them and talk about whether I think they would be a good fit in North London. But first, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. The support on everything over the last couple of weeks has been incredible. There's been loads of new subscribers to the channel. You'll never understand how much I appreciate that and how grateful I am for it. So yeah, if you enjoy this one as well, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and there'll be plenty more content coming your way as we get to the start of the new season. Now, the most common name Spurs have been linked with over the last few months is probably Brentford's Ivan Toney. We all know his history in terms of his betting suspension and the backlash that he got from a lot of fans over the last 12 months or so, but I think that his recent exploits in an England shirt have kind of redeemed him a little bit. He missed the entire first half of the season and was allowed to come back into training and then eventually into the squad for Brentford at the start of 2024, and boy did he hit the ground running. Only scored 4 goals in his first 5 appearances back in a Brentford shirt, including one against Tottenham at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, but luckily they still managed to win the game 3-2. He also picked up a couple of assists towards the end of the season, meaning that he finished the campaign on 4 goals and 2 assists, and that's not too bad considering he was only available for 17 games, and it probably took him a little while to sort of really acclimatise to the fitness levels and the intensity of the Premier League. Would Ivan Toney be a good signing for Spurs? Well, it depends on what the price tag is, really. Before his ban, there were people talking about the fact that Ivan Toney could probably be bought for around about £80 million or £70 million, which for me I think is too expensive for someone who is 28 years old and does only have 1 year left on his contract now. But the rumours going around social media suggest that that price tag is getting lower and lower and could drop as low as 25 to 30 million by the end of the transfer window. I think that that is worth taking the risk, even though his attitude may not necessarily be the best in the squad. I think that if Ange approves the signing, we could be getting a really good goal scorer who even proved himself for England at times at the Euros this summer. Another name linked to the club is Sporting Lisbon's Victor Gyökeres. Forgive me if I've butchered the pronunciation on
a total disgrace to the world.
There, but all that matters really is his ability on the football pitch. This would likely be a significantly more expensive deal to pull off than Ivan Toney from Brentford, but it may be worth it in the long run for Spurs. The 26-year-old Swedish striker had an absolutely blistering campaign for Sporting in Portugal last season. He scored 43 goals in all competitions in just 50 appearances, and he added 15 assists to that just to make his CV look even better. This still was split opinion a little bit because Gyökeres has experience in the Championship before, and it has put people off a little bit, although for me, looking at it, I would suggest that it makes it a more attractive deal because he has that experience of playing in English football already. Of course, he operates as a centre-forward, but if needs be, he could even play on the left or right wing. It's always good to have these versatile players in the squad, and he is someone that I would be really excited by if they were to pull the trigger and do a deal. However, his market value is way above 50 million and he's contracted at Sporting until 2028, so it would take quite a hefty transfer fee to get a deal done. However, Spurs, if they do sell Richarlison for £60 million, that money could be reinvested straight back into Gyökeres. It would hopefully solve a lot of problems in that front line. The third name that I want to mention is a different profile to Ivan Toney and Victor Gyökeres. It is Jonathan David from Lille. The Canadian international has been thriving in the French league, and again he put up some really good numbers for the last season, scoring 26 goals in all competitions, including 19 in Ligue 1. Only Kylian Mbappe scored more than the 24-year-old last season. He came joint second in the scoring charts with Alexandre Lacazette of Lyon, and he also picked up 4 assists as well. He had one of the best minutes to goal ratios in the league, with it taking around about 139 minutes per goal, and he also had the highest shooting accuracy of the top 10 goal scorers in the league at 72%.
Wow.
Now, here's where things get interesting. Unlike Gyökeres, David does have 1 year left on his contract, so it's a very similar situation to the Ivan Toney deal. However, as he is a lot younger than Ivan Toney, it probably still would take a little bit more money to prize him away from Lille, rather than him see out his final year of a contract and then go on a free transfer. David is a 54 cap international for Canada. He is seasoned for someone who is only 24 years old, and I'm sure that his best is still yet to come, so he could be one that is exciting to see in the Premier League. The final player that has been linked with Spurs that I want to talk about before I come to a decision on who I think we should sign is Feyenoord's Santiago Jimenez. Jimenez has only just turned 23 and he's already got 29 caps for Mexico, and he's probably been one of the most prolific strikers in Eredivisie history in the 2 years that he's been there. Jimenez scored 26 goals in all competitions last year, making 41 appearances in total and adding 8 assists to his tally as well. Again, all of these strikers have really impressive numbers. It just depends on which profile fits Spurs the best and which one is most realistic. And by realistic, I mean affordable. Jimenez was part of the squad that won the league under Arne Slot a couple of years ago, and it's fair to say that his standards have not dropped over the last few months. He's been away on Copa America duty with Mexico, and although his country didn't do too well, he again impressed with his presence in the final third and his ability to be able to be a playmaker as well. I think Jimenez would be an incredibly smart signing, and it is notorious that the Dutch league don't necessarily charge ridiculous fees for all of their players, with the exception of Anthony to Manchester United, of course.
That's a good one.
And if a deal is attainable for around the £30-40 million mark, this is something that I would seriously be looking into. His contract, again, has still got a few years left on it. He's tied down until 2027, but if we put the money on the table, I don't see why we wouldn't be able to pry him away and bring him to the Premier League. So they are the 4 main options and names that have been linked to Spurs over the summer, and it is more than likely that interest in one of them will ramp up, hopefully over the next couple of weeks as the season approaches. There are a couple more unrealistic targets that I would love us to go for, one of them being Julian Alvarez from Manchester City.
You serious?
Fresh off winning the Copa America and having won the World Cup a couple of years ago, he is just, I think, an incredible striker, and he wants out according to reports. He wants to leave. He doesn't want to play second fiddle to Erling Haaland anymore. But apparently Man City do want around £70 million for him, which I'm not sure is an amount that Spurs would be willing to spend on a single player. I know that shouldn't be the case, and I know you need to spend to be able to compete with the best, but the history of the club suggests that that is not something that they're going to be willing to do on one single player. But if I had to go back to one of the previous 4 names on the list to pick one to sign for Spurs, I would be picking Santiago Jimenez. He still has a lot of untapped potential at 23, and his goal and assist tallies over the last couple of seasons have been consistent and really impressive compared to the rest of the strikers over in that Dutch league. Regardless of the names on the list, Spurs really do need to start thinking about getting a move on with their signings. But let me know what you think. Who do you think Spurs should sign as their next striker? Do you think we should sell Richarlison? And would you go down the route of Premier League proven and sign someone like Ivan Toney, even though he is probably the oldest option and has had bad attitude problems in the past? Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you are new around here. Once again, I've really appreciated the support on the channel over the last couple of days. It's been amazing to interact with so many Spurs fans and seeing communities all over the place just grow as we head into the new season. You can find links to my TikTok and my Twitter account in the descriptions. I've been doing live watch-alongs for the pre-season games, including the one against Vissel Kobe, and I will also be doing the ones against the K-League All-Stars and both games against Bayern Munich before the season starts. But for now, that's it from me. Again, don't forget to like and subscribe the video. I'll keep reminding you until you do it, and as always, come on you Spurs.